VLC is the Swiss Army knife of video tools. It's a free or open source media player that will work on Windows, Macs, and Linux machines. Now this video is going to go through a few of the features of VLC and possibly some that even the most seasoned users of VLC may not even be aware existed. VLC is an awesome player of audios, videos, even DVDs and audio CDs. VLC can convert videos from most formats to other formats. Heck, they can even rip DVDs. VLC can convert videos to different sizes as well as different formats. And get this, VLC can stream content from your computer to your private network or even on the web. VLC can even capture your own screen activity. And this powerful and versatile tool is free of cost, free of ads, and free of spyware. So you head on over to videoland.org, and as you can see as you scroll down the page, they've got several projects or products, but the one we're interested in is VLC Media Player. Now they have the download link for us right here, big blue button, and at the time of this recording, the current version is 2.1.0. And the one thing I want to point out here is that once you download this to your computer, for everything to work properly, you need to install it as an administrator. In other words, once you have it downloaded, and in this case, I'm using Windows 7, you would right-click on it and then click on this link right here, Run as Administrator. And before you begin the installation process, make sure that you shut down all of your other applications. Okay, now that you've got it downloaded, you've got it installed, and if you're interested in some of the features, because like I said, I'm not going to be able to go into all the different features of the VLC Media Player, but you can check this link out here, and if you want to give your VLC player a different look, you've got some skins here, and if we come over here under VLC, you even have some additional extensions that you can work with. Have lots of fun with this, and again, there's no cost whatsoever. Here under Support, you've got an FAQ section, wiki, and a forum section, so in case you have any questions beyond what this video is answering for you, you've got your options right here to check into. So let's go ahead and open up our VLC software, and the first thing I want to do is show you how you can convert a video format to a different format. And you come up here to Media, click on the Convert/Save option. Right here under File, go to Add, navigate to the location of the video file that you want to convert to a different format, and this is the guy right here, and as you can see it's a .avi, and I want to change it to a .mp4, and I'm also going to change the size. I'm going to click on Open, and it brings it into VLC. Next step, come on down here to Convert/Save and hit that drop down arrow, click on Convert, and now we want to leave all this stuff alone, and this is the guy that I'm going to be converting it to. H.264, and the audio is going to be MP3. Now you can choose from any of these other guys here if that's what you're wanting. You can even adjust this preset by going into this tool section here, and you have plenty of options here. You can even adjust the video codec, audio codec, and other items related to the audio like the sample rate, even the bit rate. And under the video codec is where you can change the resolution or the size. For example, I want to change this to 640 by 360 and click on Save. At this point, we now want to browse to the location of our destination file. I'm just going to put it in the same location as the source file, just make sure I give it a different name. And also you want to make sure you're going to add the proper extension. Now then you click on Save, click on Start, and depending upon the size of the file and the power of your computer will depend on how long it takes. Obviously, it didn't take too long. Here's the converted file right here. So let's go ahead and open that up. Very good. So I want to also show you how you can capture your screen activity, something that a lot of people just aren't aware that VLC Media Player can actually do. Come on back up here to Media, click on Convert and Save. Let's go and get rid of this guy here. We're done with him. But this time you want to come over to the capture device and click on Desktop. And I'm going to change this to 10. Now you can change it to whatever you want, but the higher the number, the more juice it's going to take out of your computer to work properly. But also the lower the number, the more pixelated or lower quality your capture is going to be. Now this time we click on this guy here and we want to click on Stream. Then click on Next, and under the new destination you've got these options here, which by the way, if you're going to be streaming content from your computer to the internet, then you might want to check out the HTTP, but that's something that's a little beyond the scope of this video, but I will point you in the right direction here in just a minute. But I'm just going to go ahead and click on Add, and File will be my destination. Browse to the location where I want that to be saved, and I want to give that file name a name, and I want to save it as a .mp4. Click on Save. Click on Next. And if you want, you can even activate the transcoding and change the format to something else. But I'm going to leave it as is. And then just click on Stream. Now at this point, it is recording the screen, and just move things around here just to show that it will work. And you got the counter right here, and let's go ahead and click on Stop. And let's go to Media, Open File, and there it is. So you can see it captured the entire screen, which shows me recording this. Now, as far as streaming content from your computer or server to other computers on your network or to computers on the internet, rather than me taking an additional 20 or 30 minutes to explain that in detail, I'm going to go ahead and refer you to our friends over at Google and have you just do a search for how to stream using VLC Internet Streaming Server, and make sure that you select videos, and if videos are not showing, then just go to this More tag, and then videos should be right up close to the top. But under videos, under this search, you're looking at the first couple of results that pop up here. These will explain to you in a couple of different steps how to serve the content on your computer to a private network or to other computers on the internet. And as I had mentioned earlier, if you have any questions whatsoever that were not answered by this video, come on over to the support section on videoland.org, check out the FAQ, the wiki, or the forums. That's going to bring us to the end of this video on an introduction to the VLC media player. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. According to Facebook, having a video in your Facebook post will generate a whopping 100% more engagement than just a plain text post. Your website is 53% more likely to appear on the first page of Google if you have a video on it. Now, these are just two of a bazillion different reasons why you need to use videos in your marketing efforts if you aren't already doing so. See, over the past few years, online video has grown from being a cool tool to a must-have tool for online marketers. Your site visitors do not simply enjoy the videos, they expect them. Now, I don't have fancy cameras or tons of filming equipment, so how can I make a great video? Luckily, these are not required to make a video that will rocket your website to page 1 of the search engines or get loads of free traffic to your offers. The first step in your video creation process is to decide, what do you want the message of your video to be? Are you training? Are you selling? Or just looking to show off the cutest puppies in the whole world? Well, thanks to the internet and some free tools you can get from a simple Google search, you can do any or all three. Now, what I'm talking about here is screencasting. Screencasting is basically capturing your computer screen or parts of it, and the output or outcome of this screen capture is a video. Now, how fancy your video ends up being depends on the software and or the methods that you use in your screencasting. Technically, there are many different elements that make up a great screencast video. Bumpers, zooming in and out or not zooming at all, cursor movement, and so on. But it all boils down to video content and audio content and the quality of both. Of these, in my opinion, the audio quality is the most important, because you can almost get away with a very bad quality video if the audio quality is perfect. But if you have the perfect video quality and the audio quality is terrible, then you can pretty well bet that most people will tune out of that video very quickly. Now, in order to get the high quality audio required for a good video, you need to begin with the proper microphone. Now, there are many options out there when it comes to buying a microphone, but the bottom line is that you should be looking for a USB microphone and not the type with the small pointy type of connector like what you would plug into your cell phone. Now, the cost of these USB microphones can be just a few bucks, like $10 or so, to several $100s. But I've gotten great audio recordings from mics in the $10 to $20 range. But remember this though, as soon as you can, you should upgrade to the best quality mic your budget will allow for. Now, the rest of your screencasting equipment is that free stuff I was talking about earlier that can be found from a simple Google search. Now, you can use something like Google Drive to create slide presentations. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. I've already logged into my Google account here, and up here at the top, right there, that's the guy I'm referring to, Google Drive. And you come over here to create click on presentation, and it's just like PowerPoint slide or the equivalent in something like OpenOffice. But this doesn't cost you anything, and you don't have to download anything. It's right there on your Google account. And I've already done one here as an example and titled it My Awesome Video Slide. So we'll open that up. And this is it. Now, just as an example, let's say that your marketing video is on a product that you're creating or have created, and it's an ebook. What you can do is just take snippets from that ebook and make your slides or your script, or you can just write out the script. Totally up to you. But what you would then do is you would take little bits of that script and put on each slide. You don't want to burden the slide here with a whole bunch of text. Matter of fact, even better yet, you may want to summarize that paragraph into a couple of sentences. Then you would read that paragraph while showing this one slide. That way it may not come across as if you were just simply reading the text off of the slide. Some people don't like that. Some people it doesn't matter. But that's just another idea. The bottom line here, though, is that once you have a presentation created of a whole bunch of slides, you just select each slide individually, come up here to File, go to Download As, choose whichever image format you prefer. I would go with the JPEG myself. Then you just download each one of those slides in an image format to your computer. And what you can do now is create the audio. You could use something like Audacity. It's completely free. I'm not sure if they have an option for Macs or not. I'm a Windows kind of person, so I'm not sure. And once you have this downloaded and installed, this is what it looks like here. You've got your pause, play, stop, and your record button. What you could do is just open this up, hit record, then you just start reading from that script that you've created those slides from. Come on up here to File, click on Export. This is grayed out because they don't have anything in there. But whenever you click on Export, it will export in as a WAV file, and then you can use a program like Windows Movie Maker, or if you're on a Mac, I believe the equivalent is iMovie if I'm not mistaken, and you then import each one of those images as well as that WAV file. Then you just sync that WAV file, the audio portion of your video, so that it matches with each one of these slides. Come on up here to this button here, click on Save Movie, then you select the option that's best for what you are wanting, and there's your video. Now sure, there are more detailed steps involved, but for the most part, these are the basic steps you can take to create your marketing video, with the only expense being for your microphone. And remember, the more videos like this that you make, the more shortcuts you're going to discover, and the better your end product will be. And remember, practice makes perfect. That's going to bring us to the end of this video on the basic makings of a marketing video. On my short list of awesome free screen recording programs is my favorite, called Jing. Jing is created by the people that created Camtasia Studio. Jing allows you to take screenshots and screencasts of your computer screen. Now you can create screencast videos up to 5 minutes in length and save them and your screenshot images to your computer, or have them uploaded to your free Screencast.com online storage account. Now you can get Jing at techsmith.com/jing.html, and for more information on your free Screencast.com online storage, you can go to Screencast.com/help. And here you're going to find out all kinds of information about setting up, configuring, and customizing your Screencast.com account. Now you've got up to 2 gigabytes of free storage and 2 gigabytes of monthly bandwidth on your free account. And you can toggle back and forth between the free account and the pro account to increase the monthly bandwidth or storage as the need arises. Now, to take more advantage of your free account without having to go into a pro account if you don't want to, is you can kind of keep things cleared out of your storage space here on your free account by just keeping those items stored on your computer in what's called the history section of your Jing account. And I'll show you that here in just a second. Matter of fact, let's head on back over to Jing right now. And let's say you've got this downloaded and installed. Once you do that, it's going to pop this little sun looking thing up onto the top center of your computer screen. Now you can left click, hold, and drag this guy around to wherever you want on the edges of your computer monitor, either the top or the bottom, the left or the right side. The only place I found this does not stick is in the corners. And by the way, there's plenty of tutorials here on the Jing site that covers in-depth details on how you can get the most out of your Jing software. But if you come up here and we click on Capture, you get these little crosshairs that come up. Let's left click, hold, and drag your mouse to where you want to capture, be it a video or an image. And whatever you end up capturing is going to be stored in the history. Let's go and X out of this. And that history is going to be found right here. Now, getting back to the taking advantage of your free account at screencast.com is you can delete the captures from your screencast.com account, so you're not taking up all the storage space there until you need that particular image or video, at which time you come over here to the history section and just click on that. Locate the video or the image capture that you want to share, and then you just click on the image, click on the share icon here, and then it will upload it to your screencast.com account at that point. Then you can share it and then just delete it from your screencast.com whenever you're done sharing it. That's one way to go. If you find the need to have those shares a little more longer lasting, then you might find the need to go pro. And this $100 a year for the pro account is a great deal if you want to go that route. Because in addition to the increased amount of storage space and monthly bandwidth, you're also allowed to brand background templates with your company logo and a specific color scheme, something that you're not able to do here with a free account. So there are additional advantages to going pro besides just the increase in storage and monthly bandwidth. But let's head on over to our Jing software and take a look at what happens whenever we capture something. Again, we just click on that first link there that pops out and just select the area that we want to capture. And if we want to capture this as a video, we click on this. Or if we want to capture this as an image, we click on this. And let's say we're clicking on the video and we're about a minute into our 5-minute limit, and we figure out that we just screwed something up, but we want to keep this same area. We can click on this redo button and it will keep this same area intact. It'll just start the video over again. And if you decide that this is not the area that you want to capture, then you can just click on this here to cancel the whole thing out. Let's go ahead and capture this as an image and show you some more of the formatting options that are available to you here. You can change the color, you can highlight, you can frame something in, you can add text or arrows, all kinds of cool stuff here. Title it any way that you want. If you have the Snagit software, which is a kind of like Jing only on steroids, and this does cost you as well, but you're able to edit this using Snagit. You can also edit this using Camtasia Studio if you have that particular software. But these buttons here allow you to either upload it directly to your screencast.com account, you can save it to your computer, you can copy it, or you can cancel the whole thing out. Now here's something that's pretty cool too. You can even customize the Jing buttons here. Click on this guy, click on New, and this is where you can either upload it to a YouTube account and it will add the YouTube button here, or Twitter, or Facebook, or Flickr, FTP, and so on. And again, there's plenty of tutorials at the Help Center for Jing that will walk you through this entire process. And let's go ahead and cancel this out here. And coming back up here to our little sun guy, we've covered the history, we've covered the capture, and right here, the third guy under More. This allows us to customize things a little bit, where you can go here to Preferences, and you can customize those buttons like I just showed you, where you can select a particular audio input. So if you have several different microphones attached, you want a particular one for your Jing, this is where you can go. You want to launch Jing on startup, you check that box. You want to hide the little Jing sun, you can do that by clicking that little box there. And for the free Jing, you've got the video output as SWF. Now if you want more options, maybe you want to save this as an MP4 or an AVI, then you're going to have to upgrade to either Snagit or to the Camtasia Studio software. And then once you're done with this, you can come over here and click on Finish, or if you're done with Jing altogether, you can just come over here and click on Exit Jing. You'll get this little pop-up here, and yes, bye-bye Jing. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on an introduction to Jing. Thank you very much for watching, and you have a great day. Cam Studio is a free or open source program that you download to your computer, and with it you can record both the activity and audio of your computer. It works great for creating videos for support issues, frequently asked questions, product demonstrations, and my favorite, video-based information products that you can sell. Did I mention Cam Studio is free? Cam Studio is not Camtasia Studio. They are nowhere near related to one another except the closeness of the name. Cam Studio is only a recorder, where Camtasia Studio is both a recorder and an awesome editor, but it is going to set you back about $300. And oh, by the way, Cam Studio is free. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the basic settings to get you on your way to recording your videos with Cam Studio. Now, there are a ton of different settings you can adjust to your specific needs, so my goal here is to point you in the right direction if you want to deviate from any of the settings that I'm going to show you here in this video. So let's get to work. Now first off, there's a couple of things you need to download. Number one, you need to download Cam Studio, and you can get that from camstudio.org. But before you get there, I want you to first download this free codec. Now what a codec is, it's kind of like a zip program for videos. Without using a codec, the raw video that you're recording, for say a 30-second video, might end up being somewhere around, let's say 200 gigabytes. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but bear with me here. With the codec, that same video, without reducing the quality whatsoever, might be 2 megabytes. Yeah, that big of a reduction. Again, a bit of an exaggeration, but I think you get my point. So with the proper codec, you're going to have the same quality video at the end, only it's going to be much smaller in file size. Now there's a ton of different codecs out there you can choose. So I would say if you're open to suggestions, I would go with FFD Show. And you can get that at sourceforge.net/projects/FFD Show. And it is free, so don't worry about it. Come on in here, download this, install it, and you'll probably have to reboot your computer for it to show up inside of your Cam Studio software. So once you got this out of the way, come on back over here to Cam Studio, scroll on down the page here a bit, and of course read all that stuff. And this first green button is the one you want to download your Cam Studio software. At this point, it's version 2.7. Now you'll probably see this guy right here. It's another codec that is suggested by Cam Studio, but I'm suggesting that you don't use this one. It's totally up to you. I've never used this, so I can't speak personally about how good or not good it is, because you see, Cam Studio comes with a limit of 2 gigabytes before it crashes. So the output or the video size has to be less than 2 gigabytes, and in its raw state without any codec, you're looking at about maybe 4 or 5 minutes in length. And that's basically how long the video should be anyway, but that's beside the point. With this lossless codec, you're probably going to get closer to the 9 to 10 minute mark. But with this codec here, you're going to get closer to 2 to 3 hours before you reach that 2 gigabyte file size. So there's a big difference. And another point I want to make before we get on to the settings is right here, checking out the form from Cam Studio. Go and click on that real quick here. Now this is a very active form, so you can get a ton of information out of here. The drawback to this though is that you cannot post any questions here unless you're a member, and it's by invite only. So before you have to use it, before you have to post any questions, I would say come on in here, apply for membership. It doesn't cost you anything, just a little bit of time to apply for membership. Basically, you're sending them an email saying, hey, invite me. And then it might take some time before you receive that invite. And they're kind of explaining that to you right here. So anyway, if nothing else, bookmark this site for reference. And like I said, as soon as you can, apply for membership. Okay, now then you just come on back here, download the program. After you've got the codec installed, download, install this, pretty straightforward stuff. And once you get all that stuff done, open it up. Now before we get into the various settings, I want to show you that right out of the box, Cam Studio will work. So without messing around with anything, just click on the record button. By the way, record, pause, stop. This changes the look of the interface. Click it once, that's what you get. Click it twice, that's what you get. Click it third time and you come back to normal. This one covers some of the annotations, and we're not going to get into that, but anyway, now you know what that covers. And this guy here toggles the record output from AVI, which I say leave it alone. Leave it at AVI, or you can click on that and record to SWF, which is kind of an older flash version. I would say don't mess with SWF at all, but it is there just in case you want to do what I say not to do. So leave it at AVI and you're good to go. Now let's go ahead and click on record, and see the little flashy corners there? That's the size out of the box. That's the size of your recording. And you can see here, this guy right here, which you can move out of the way, tells you this is the size that's being recorded right now. We're up to about 30 megabytes, and we're only into, right now, 20 seconds, 40 megabytes. That's pretty outrageous. So let's go ahead and cut this now to stop. And by default, it's set up to save the recordings to your videos directory. So let's go ahead and give this a name, Test 01, right out of the box. And then the player comes up as soon as it's saved, and you can play it. Now by default, right out of the box, no audio. So that's one of the first things we're going to be changing. Another thing we're going to be changing is adjusting the codec. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the size of that file, because I think it's right around 50 megabytes. Let me see, right here we are, Test 01, almost 60 megabytes, and under 30 seconds in length. That's going to be a fat file if you want to get any kind of recording out of that at all. So let's come on back here and make some adjustments. Now let's first go through these real quick here. Pretty self-explanatory, but a record, pause, stop, just like we got right here. Region, by default it's fixed region. I would say leave it at that. Well, let's go ahead and click on this so we can make some adjustments to the size. Now my suggestion is to go HD, that's high def, and that's 1280 by 720. 1280 here, 720 in height. This is the size of the videos uploaded to YouTube, or the good ones anyway. But for the sake of this video, because that's what I'm recording right now, is 1280 by 720. I don't want this to be the exact same size. Let's go a little bit smaller. Say 640 by 360 and click OK. Now that's the region. Under options, this is where it gets fun. And this is where you can really do some personalization too. Now as far as adjusting the settings beyond what I'm going to be showing you here, I would suggest that you set a benchmark while you're doing your testing. Get you a notepad and pen and write down the different outputs, the different file sizes for those particular settings that you're going to be making here. And record the same thing. Like for example, record the Cam Studio page here. Scroll down a little bit, say about halfway. Read some text, read the same text, scroll down to the same spot on each one of your tests so that the only thing different is your settings. Everything else is the same. Use that as kind of a benchmark to go by. Okay, that said, let's get on back over to this guy here. Come on into options. First thing we want to do is record the audio because again, by default, it's not recording. So go ahead and click on this one here, record audio from microphone. Come on back into options, then come to audio options for microphone. Select the microphone that you have plugged into your computer, and if you don't have a microphone, my suggestion is USB type microphones, not the kind that has a little pointy plug-in like you might plug into your cell phone. Get a USB ranging anywhere between 10 to a couple $100. But I've got this one here plugged in, and that's what I'm going to go with. Recording format, the default, that's no good. So click on that button, get the drop down, select the 44.1K mono 16-bit because a majority of people will put up with the nasty video if the audio is perfect, but if the video is perfect and the audio is nasty, chances are they're not going to be sticking around very long at all. So you really want to get the best audio recording possible. Compressed format, PCM, leave that as it is. Everything else on this page here is just fine the way it is. Just select the right microphone, change the recording format to 44.1K mono, 16-bit. Everything else is fine. Click on OK. Come on back to options, video options. Change out this guy here because that's what's going to make your fat file. You don't want that. That's the default. You want to go for the FFD show codec that you already downloaded and installed. Right there. Don't worry about configuring. You can go in here and adjust all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in here you can mess with, but I would say for the sake of this video anyway, leave it at the default. Everything else on here is just fine the way that it is. That simple. Change your codec, click on OK, you're ready to roll. Now there are other options in here you can mess with, but for the sake of this video, that's all we need. Turn on the audio to microphone, adjust the audio output, come into video, change the codec, you're good to go. Click on record. And let's move that in here. There's our flashy corners there. And you can see here the time elapsed. We're going to shut it off at a little under 30 seconds so we can compare it to the 27-second part of the first video that we recorded. And let's come on up here, get ready to stop. And there. Okay, so we're pretty close anyway. Let's go ahead and save that as test 02. And by the way, this one should be bigger than the first one because this first one does not have audio on top of the video. This one, test 2, has both the audio and the video, which actually will make a much larger file size. And then this pops up as soon as it's saved. Click on play.
Let's move that in here. There's our flashy.
There it is.
There.
You can hear the audio.
And you can see here.
Okay. Now then, let's open up that folder and compare the two files. Ooh, check that out. Almost right at the same time, 27 seconds. But this one here with audio, under 3 megabytes. This one here is under 60 megabytes. So you can see the big difference there in just changing that codec. So those are the basic settings for your Cam Studio output. Stick with those and you'll do perfectly. Again, you can go in and play around with it, make other adjustments if you find the need to. But right out of the box, with these small adjustments, you can have a perfect recording using the free Cam Studio software. That's going to bring us to the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. This video is going to walk you through the use of a free screencast video recorder that is web-based, meaning that you do not have to download it to your computer, which also means that it's going to work either on PC or Macs. Now, there is an option for you to download the application if you'd like to do that, but you will have to manually update that downloaded version every time that new versions are released. The name of this free screencasting tool, if you haven't guessed yet, is Screencast-O-Matic, and you can get there by typing screencast-o-matic.com in your browser bar here, and you can put in either with or without the dashes, doesn't matter, because they own both domains, and you'll just end up back at this particular page. Anyway, once you're here, you've got two options. The free option, if we scroll down here, you can see the comparison between the two. The free option gives you these options here, basically allowing you to record and publish up to a 15-minute video. And the pro option, at the time of this recording anyway, is $15 a year. Pretty darn inexpensive considering what all you get with this. And there is no maximum record time, and you can see all the additional options here. The biggest option, in my opinion, for going pro, which again $15 a year is nothing, is that your videos are not branded with the Screencast-O-Matic logo. You can have your logo on there. And I guess there is a maximum because it says right here you got up to 2 hours per upload. And 2 hours is a pretty long video. I'm guessing that would be more along the lines of recording webinars and the like. So you can see here the comparison between the two. And if we scroll back up to the page here, you do have to have an account to log in, but again, it's totally free. And if you click on login, that'll bring you to the registration page or the login page if you've already got an account here. Let's go ahead and register real quick. I'm going to put in my email twice, password twice, check the box that you agree to their terms of service, and then click on the register button. I'm going to pause the video here just for a second, and then click on register. Now you can see that you're logged in whenever your email address is up here in the top right. And at this point you can just start your recording by clicking on Start Recording. And here, by the way, is where you can download the application to your computer and launch it from there. And you get these little warnings that pop up. Now I am in the Chrome browser, so you might get different warnings, if you will, on different browsers. But let's go ahead and close this guy out here. And then on this one here, you want to click on this box here that you accept the risk and you want to run this application. And you get this guy popping up again. Let's go ahead and close him out. Run applet. And then we have this guy pop up here, and this is our recording area right here. As you can see right now, we're not recording, but you start the recording by hitting this red record button here. Let's go ahead and get this guy a little bit more onto the screen here. As you can see, you can do that just by hovering over the center area here where you get the 4 arrows in your cursor, and just left click, hold, and drag it to where you want. And you can also further adjust it by clicking on these here. You can also adjust the screen size here with some presets. And as far as the microphone, you can select various microphones if you have different ones on your computer set up. But right now I've got the primary sound capture driver. This is one of my microphones here. I'm going to go ahead and select that one. And if you got a webcam you want to record from, you can do that here. And at this point, let's go ahead and start recording. Get our countdown, 3, 2, 1, go! There is our recording. And a nice red border here so you can see what is being recorded. You got the timer right here with a limit of 15 minutes, which really in most cases is plenty, especially if you're recording for a tutorial or a support issue, or even for videos you're going to be selling. Okay, let's go ahead and click on done. Then you get this to pop up here, and you can preview it by clicking on
and a nice red
the play button
here so you can see what is being recorded.
Go and pause that. And again, this is the free version here, so you don't have a lot of the editing options over here to the right. But right now you can publish to Screencast-O-Matic, publish to YouTube, or publish to video file, which basically is just downloading it to your computer. And once you click on that, you have the option of choosing MP4, AVI, FLV, or GIF. Myself, I would go with either MP4 or AVI because those are a higher quality output than what you would get from the Flash or the FLV or the GIF. Besides that, with these guys here, you can always convert these later on to FLV. And you can also choose the output size here. You wanted to add some notes. Again, this is the video file that you're downloading. If you had something like you're wanting to upload this to Screencast-O-Matic, you would want to title it, add a description, And if you've got various channels, then you can select the one that you want this particular video to be uploaded to. And it all would kind of boil down to the purpose behind the video. Were you recording it for a support issue or a frequently asked question, in which case a lot of this stuff doesn't really matter, because you're only going to show it to either one person or it's going to be on your site for answering questions. If you're going to be recording this video for posting it on your site, then yeah, you definitely want to be thinking about search engine optimization as you're filling out these blanks here. But all this stuff is pretty self-explanatory here. Once you get all the T's crossed and the I's dotted, come on down here and click on Upload to SOM. And you've got the process taking place here where it's encoded first and now it's uploading to your account. And once it's uploaded, it gives you this cool little link here where you can either left click on it and go to that video, or you can left click here and, as it says in the little pop-up there, copy link to clipboard. Then you can come on back to your browser, paste it, and go. And here's the video.
Go. There is our recording. And a nice red border here.
And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on the walkthrough for Screencast-O-Matic. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. This video is going to walk you through the basic use of the screencast recorder and editor called EasyVid. So first thing you want to do is head on over to the easyvid.com website and download it, install it, and then open it up. And click on that. Navigate to the location where you want the software installed. Click on Save. You just click on this, open it up, click on Run. You want to read this over here. Just go ahead and click on Accept the Agreement, click on Next. Some cool stuff here. And by the way, your recording is limited to 45 minutes, which really, if you're working on marketing videos, that's an awful long time. Click on Next. Some more additional information here. I'm going to cover a lot of this stuff too in this video. Click on Next. And Next. Right here are the boxes you want to untick unless you want to install the Nation toolbar on making that your default search engine. Click on Accept and Continue. And it's going to download 162 megabytes of file size and unpack it and install it. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video until that gets done. And we're almost done. Here we are. Now that we got it all installed and it's opened up, it brings us to this page here, which if you do not already have a microphone or a headset microphone, then these options are not too bad. I'm going to assume that you already have your microphone or headset microphone or both. And moving on down to step 2, you can also show your love by donating some money to EasyVid through your PayPal account. And if you want to stay informed on important updates to EasyVid, which I would suggest doing, go ahead and put in your email address here, click on subscribe. And for additional information that I may not be covering in this video, you've got some video tutorials here and more of them down here on what's labeled as step 5. Let's go ahead and dive into our EasyVid software. Now this is our EasyVid recorder and editor. Now one thing you want to keep in mind here is that whenever you add anything to the timeline here, behind the scenes, EasyVid is automatically going to convert things so that it will be playable in high definition on YouTube, because the only output here is an upload to YouTube. But I'll show you a workaround here before the end of the video on how you can save your video to your computer. Without that workaround, the only option you have is to upload it to YouTube, and once it's there, you'll be able to share it on other social medias, and from YouTube you can download it to your computer. But with what I'm going to show you, you can actually save it to your computer. So it's totally up to you, whatever route you want to go. So let's go ahead and create our first screencast. Come on over here and click on the capture screen. You've got two options here. You can just go ahead and click on this guy here to capture the screen, or you can use the advanced settings. That's what I'm going to show you here. And if you have a microphone or a headset, you can toggle these on or off by just clicking on the icon here. The problem with this though is that since I'm using the only microphone that I have attached in recording this Camtasia video, it's not letting me do that. So to demonstrate this process, I'm going to go ahead and make the transparent mode of the controls enabled. You see there, now it's enabled. And likewise, I'm going to select the capture area rather than capturing the entire screen, which would be beyond the size of this actual video area here. And if you have a webcam, you can also enable that. Let's go ahead and start our advanced capture now. And we want to select the area we want to capture. And my only drawback to this that I found so far is that you have no border around the area that's actually being captured. So you just have to remember what area you marked. Let's go ahead and move this guy around here. Pretty cool stuff. I'm going to go ahead and bring this controller in here. As you can see, since I enabled it being transparent, it is transparent. But as long as this red blinky light over here is going, that means you're recording. And you see the time left, and you've only got 45 minutes in length total, which is an awful long time. But you can pause the recording in case you want to make some adjustments on your screen here. And you can see here now it's a blue pause mark. And whenever you click on stop, that's actually going to stop the recording and bring what was recorded into the EasyVid timeline for editing. And this is a cool tool as well. You can click on draw, and you get this that pops up here. So you can either click on the paintbrush and just start drawing to your heart's content, making your arrows or whatever other kind of boxes that you want to draw, if you can draw. And you right click to get rid of that, and then you can just left click on one of these stamps in here, blap, blap, blap. Right click to get rid of that. Left click on one of these other stamps. You want to bring attention to something on your screen. There you go. And if you don't do anything at all, then within a few seconds they're going to disappear. Like so. Awesome tool. Click on that to get rid of that. And I think that's pretty much all I need to record right now. Let's go ahead and click on stop. And let's go into the editing part. And you can see down here at the bottom of the screen the process of the bringing it into the timeline. And if I had the microphone hooked up, then it would have the green bar down here showing that there was audio captured as well. But I can go ahead and click on this guy here to record my voice. As I'm going along here, you see the green bar is being added right there. And once you have the audio captured in here, there's a lot more cool stuff you can do, and I'm going to show you that here in just a second. Keep your eyes open right up here on this bar. As soon as I get done recording, you're going to see some additional features pop up there. And click on that to stop. See those additional features? You can add audio effects to the audio down here in the timeline. For example, play.
Right there. And once you have the audio captured in here, there's a lot more.
Oh, and by the way, you can barely hear it, but you've got the music going in the background. Let's try that one.
Along here, you see the green bar is being added.
You can hear the music in the background.
And once you have the audio captured in here, there's a lot more cool stuff you can do.
And that kind of mutes out the audio a little bit more so you can hear more music.
Get done recording,
more audio, less music. Pretty cool. You want to add a watermark? Do that right there. You want to remove the watermark right there. Well, let's come on back here.
And once you have the
and let's stop. And I'm going to go with silent mode. You just scroll on down here and go to silent machine. And by the way, you can also add your own music track or whatever from your own computer if you want. But let's go ahead and check this out here. You can add audio effects to the audio file down here. For example, this one here would make it sound like you're listening to somebody speak to you from a telephone, or give you a bit of a robot effect. And you can see the process of it completing that down there. Now let's play our robot sound effect.
Here, there's a lot more cool stuff you can do, and I'm going to show you that here in just a second.
Pretty nifty. And to undo that, just click on it again. This one here just basically adds some extra oomph to it. You can see the voice effects as power. It adds a lot of bass to it. Makes it sound a lot more professional, in my opinion. More professional than the robot voice anyway. Another cool item is the synthesized voice. But before we can do this, you have to have a text panel in here, and that's this guy right here. Click on that, start typing away, and you can adjust the text color, you can adjust the background color, click on finish, and here it is. Now we want to duplicate that a couple of times. Now let's go ahead and check out the synthesized speech. Right up here, your existing recording may be overwritten. Ooh, okay. Let's go ahead and do that then, just for demonstration purposes, but beware of that. And it wasn't.
As I get done recording, you're going to see some additional features pop up there.
Cool. So let's come on over here and see what the synthesized speech sounds like.
Time. YouTube box. Big time. YouTube box. Big time.
Okay, not my favorite. And if you want to add additional elements like an audio file or images, then you can click on this guy here to add pictures or video. Then just make your selection from your computer. We want to add this guy. We want to add this MP4. and click on open. And what it's doing here is it's making each one of these items here high def ready. Now that we've got our project pretty well completed the way we want it, and by the way, you can select these guys, right click, and do some additional editing if you wanted to split this up so that you could move this guy here over here. But one other thing too I want to mention to you before we get to rendering this video is you can adjust the speed of the video as well. For example, this segment right here, I'm going to right click on that, then hover over speed, come on down here and left click on 600%. And now then, that entire video clip is going to go 600% faster than normal. And that's basically all the editing elements that I could think of, but let's go ahead and save our project. Your previous project has been saved. Okay. Now then, let's go ahead and just delete that little segment there. Click on this guy here to load that project back up. And you've got three options here where you can delete the project, you can duplicate it, or you can edit it, which will bring it back into the timeline, which is what we want. Now we want to upload it to YouTube. Now here's something I want to point out is that this is going to do two things. It's going to render your video. Once you click on agree, click on continue. You're going to want to log into the Gmail account that you have associated with your YouTube channel. And once you do that, then EasyVid's going to start to render your video. It will then upload that rendered video to YouTube. But if you want to save it to your computer, you have to cancel the process after it's been rendered, but before the upload is complete. And then click on sign in. Then click on accept. Make your choice of the quality. And I would always go with the best quality, but that's just me. Click on start. As you can see here, it's rendering the video. And once this is uploaded to YouTube, you will have an option to share this video with several social media sites like Twitter, Facebook, and a couple other ones too. I don't remember right offhand. But frankly, I don't want this mishmash to be on my YouTube account, so I'm going to cancel it here in just a second as soon as it's done rendering, and then I'll show you where to look in your directories to find the saved video file on your computer. Now it says uploading to YouTube. Right here's where I want to cancel. Click on confirm. Now then, let's navigate to the location of that hidden folder. Go to the documents section. It should be right there at the top, or at least ways it is on mine. If yours is sorted by the name of the folder, then just go to EasyVid. Open that up, go to projects, open that up, and I believe it's going to be in number 1. Yep, that's the biggest file. Let's go ahead and open that up and go to final. And it's a WMV file. Now, if this is what you're wanting to save, then you can just copy it from here and paste it wherever you want. And then I would go ahead and rename it to something more descriptive than just final. Because no matter what you name your video here, whenever you go into the documents library to find the saved video file on your computer, it's going to be named final and it's going to be a WMV format. Let's go ahead and double click on that to open it up. And there it is.
As I'm going along here, you see the green bars being added right there. And once you have the audio captured,
and there you go. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on the basics of using EasyVid, Screencast Recorder, and Editor. This video is going to walk you through some of the basic features of the free Windows Live Movie Maker software. Now, Windows Live Movie Maker is the newer version of Windows Movie Maker. So depending upon what version of Windows operating system you're working with would depend on if it says Windows Live Movie Maker or Windows Movie Maker. Now, whenever you go to download the Windows Live Movie Maker, assuming you don't have it on your computer already, what will happen is you'll end up downloading what's called Windows Essentials, which includes a couple of different programs. Windows Live Movie Maker, Windows Live Messenger, Windows Live Mail, and I think there's a photo gallery thing in there too. We'll cover that here in just a second. Now, as the name implies, this is a Windows program. So if you are using a Mac, then you can still use this if your computer is configured to use Windows programs. Now let's head on over to our favorite search engine here and just type in up here Windows Live Movie Maker, and this is of course if you don't have it already installed on your computer, and then just select usually the top one that pops up here. That'll take us to the Microsoft website, and if Movie Maker does not pop up right here, then go ahead and do a search here for Movie Maker. And that's the download link that will download what I was talking about, the Windows Essentials. And if you have any questions that are not answered in this video, you've got an entire how-to section here as well as the all-important support section here. So be sure and check those out as well. But let's go ahead and assume that you've got it downloaded, installed, and opened up. And this is the main interface of the Windows Live Movie Maker. Right here's your project area or your workspace. This is where you're going to import all of your videos and photos and audio files, and then rearrange them, edit them however you want, throw in the transitions, and then once you get everything set up the way you like it, then you go ahead and save movie as, and then the output is your finished product. So that's it in a nutshell. But let's go ahead and walk through the process here just to show you a little bit about what all you can do. Well, let's go ahead and put in some files here and go through some of the options that you have available for you. Now you can input the files by clicking this link here, or by just dragging and dropping the files in there. So I'm going to go ahead and select that top item, hold the shift key down on my keyboard and select the bottom one, but I'm going to deselect the audio file here just for the time being. Left click, hold and drag all these guys into the work area, and there we go. Now that's that video file here. Just kind of scrub through that. It's pretty cool, pretty puppy. But just wanted to demonstrate that you can import video files as well as still images. This Windows Live Movie Maker does come in very handy if, for example, you have the rights to edit someone else's video. You can bring in that particular video and add a title screen as well as a closing or a credits screen, which gives the video viewers a call to action, or should anyway. And throughout that particular video, you can slice and dice. You can add additional images, transitions, the whole 9 yards. And by the time you're done, the idea behind that is to have that edited, finished video product not looking at all like the original. Matter of fact, you could even eliminate the audio, import your own audio, and then render that video out as having a new voiceover as well as all the edits that you did to that particular video. Now to edit out the audio, all you have to do is select the video, come up here to edit, select the video volume, put it all the way down to the bottom there, and now that video in its original state does not have audio. So then you can just import your own audio by clicking this guy right here. If they provide transcriptions to the original video, then you can just record your own voice or have it outsourced and then import that new audio file right in here, sync it up with the new video with your new transitions and whatnot, and then boom, you've got a brand new video that you didn't have to spend days and days and days recording. All you had to do is spend a little bit of time doing the editing. Great idea. Okay, enough about the editing of the video. Let's go and get rid of this guy here. I also imported a title screen and a credit screen. Now this credit screen here, which comes at the end of the video, this should have a call to action telling the viewer of the video to do something. Now that they've seen the video, do something. Click on this link, check out my offer, whatever. Now this is something that I created in Photoshop. The thing about Windows Live Movie Maker is you don't need to do that. As a matter of fact, we can get rid of these guys altogether because we can come right up here and click on credits, and it automatically puts a new image at the end of your video sequence, which, by the way, you can select these guys and move them around to whatever area you want. You just click on it, it puts that blue border around it, then you just left click, hold, and drag it to wherever you want it. But with the credits, you can just go ahead and select that again. You can just double click on that icon there. This opens up. You've got all kinds of formatting options up here, and the same holds true with the title, but we'll get to that here in just a second. But here's where you would put the call to action, and you've got a lot of different animations up here that you can play with. As you can see, it's kind of scrolling through right here. Gives you an idea as to what it will look like in the end result. Pretty cool stuff. And got this drop down arrow over here to the right that shows a lot more options for you to work with. Really adds that professional touch to your video. Likewise, with the credits, come on back home here. I'm sorry, I meant the title. Click on title and it automatically puts the title screen at the beginning of your video elements. And again, you've got all these text formatting options where you can change the text color, and here's where you can change the background color. Let's try a nice blue there. And like with the credits, you've got these animations you can add. Really adds that professional flair to the opening of your video. Speaking of animations, you can also add animations to your video clips. You can just select where you want it to begin, and it gives you the preview right here, kind of like a nice transition from one screen to the next. And with the drop down arrow here, you've got many more to choose from. And you've got the zoom and pan options over here, where if you've got a certain image that you've imported that you want it to pan in or zoom in, or any other transition that's available here, then you can do that by selecting the proper one. And if you want to add a little extra pizzazz, you've got these visual effects you can do. And under project, You can decide whether you want it widescreen, which is a 16:9, or a standard, which is a 4:3. The widescreen is what I prefer and what you'll see more times than not nowadays, like for example on YouTube, but that just depends on what you're working with here. Now when we get our video all set the way that we want it, the opening title screen, the closing credits screen, and all the elements and animations and transitions the way we want them, come on back here to Home, and you either go here and click on Save Project As. That way this is going to be saved, so if you want you can always come back later and add or change the elements within this particular project. I'd suggest doing that anyway. Or you can publish the movie to one of these already installed items, be it YouTube or Facebook or SkyDrive, Windows Live Groups or Flickr. You can also go and add additional plugins and manage your services. This is where you go to kind of set things up for like your YouTube account or your Facebook account. Or you can just save it to your computer through one of these presets. And down here at the bottom you've got custom settings, and you can even create your own custom settings here. So let's go ahead and try this guy here, since that's the setting we have. Click on Save, and of course depending upon how big your video is would depend on how long it's going to take. And this one's not too big, so it didn't take long at all. Now there's a lot more to Windows Live Movie Maker than what we covered in this video, like adding particular themes, taking a snapshot of the preview window, adding a webcam video, and some of those presets we looked at earlier. But if you have questions about any of that stuff, hit up that how-to section on the Microsoft Movie Maker page I showed you at the beginning of this video, and most all of your questions should be answered there. If not, you got that support section. That's going to bring us to the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. This video will introduce you to the free open source digital audio editor and recorder called Audacity. Now it's available for Windows and Mac systems as well as Linux, and it's been around since the year 2000. So let's go ahead and get started by heading over to the audacity.sourceforge.net site, and you can download the most recent version right here. And at the time of this recording, it's version 2.0.4. And before you download, install, and start having all kinds of fun using Audacity, I want to point out the wiki link and the forum link. I would say go ahead and open these up in your browser of choice and bookmark these for future reference, because these are both loaded with tons of information. And if you're not familiar with what a wiki is, in this instance, look at it as a bunch of additional tutorials on how to get the most out of your Audacity software. The one thing that Audacity will not do by default is it will not export your edited audio files to an MP3 file format. To do that, come on up here to the search box, type in lame MP3 encoder, click on search, and don't mess with these guys up here. These are just ads. It's the very first result here. Just go ahead and click on that. Right up here at the very top tells you what the nature of the problem is, and these 7 steps here show you how to fix that problem. Very straightforward, walk you right through the process. The one thing I do want to point out here is that number 4, whether you are on a 32-bit system or a 64-bit system, do not change the offer destination location. If however you get through all the 7 steps and you are encountering an issue or two, go ahead and check out this link right here, more detailed instructions. But 99% of the time, follow these 7 steps. Don't mess with the destination location. Leave it as is, and you'll be just fine. So now that we've got it installed, we've got the lame encoder installed, and once you open up the software, you also here on this opening box, you've got the forum link and the wiki link, and if you don't want this to be popping up, you can just click that box there. So I'll go ahead and click on OK to get this out of the way. And you've got your basic buttons up here where you can pause, play, you can stop, you can skip to the beginning, you can skip to the end, and here's your record button. And whether you're recording an audio file or you're importing and editing an existing audio file, you've got tons of stuff up here that you can work with. And since I don't want this video to get close to 2 hours in length, I'm only going to show you a couple of the items that I work with. And by all means, refer to those tutorials on that wiki page as well as that forum page for any additional help. So let's go ahead and import an audio file. Come over here to open. And this is an Austin Powers little quip that I got from a free WAV file site online. Click on open, and there it is. Not much to it. Click on play.
Austin Powers. Danger's my middle name.
Now what I use this for more times than not is to import my recorded audio file and to clean it up in case I have any background audio noise from my computer fan, or maybe my dog barked, or the doorbell ring, the phone ring, whatever the case. In this case, we've got this static right in here. And this static I'm going to clean out. That will hopefully also get rid of it here, here, and here, as well as anywhere else that this particular area or this particular type of static is located at within this file. So to do that, come on up here to Effect. Well, first off, I want to select the area that will best represent the noise that I want to remove. Come on up here to Effect, go to Noise Removal, and it's a two-step process. Get Noise Profile as the first. Just like it says here, select a few seconds of just noise. And since our entire clip is only a few seconds, I just selected that little bit there. Click on this here. Now then, Audacity has selected that area, stuck it in its little memory bank there, and it says, okay, so anything on here that sounds like that, I'm going to get rid of. So the next step is select the entire area that you want this type of sound to be removed. I'm going to select the entire area using a keyboard shortcut of holding down my Control key and hitting the letter A as in Apple. Selects everything. So come on back up here to Effect, click on Noise Removal, and Step 2, and I just leave these as default. You can adjust these by using these sliders or just typing in the number you want, but for me, this works just fine. Click on OK, and you can see how that was reduced. So that's one thing. Another thing is, under Effects again, Bass Boost. Let's listen to this again.
Austin counts. Danger's my middle name.
Now let's go ahead and do the Bass Boost. Play.
Austin counts. Danger's my middle name.
Now I don't know if you're able to hear that, but I sure can. I can hear a major difference. It sounds more powerful. Of course, there's more bass. That's the reason why. And if you don't like how that sounds, come on up here to Edit and undo Bass Boost. And as you can see, there's a ton of stuff you can do in here. You can change the pitch, make Austin sound a little bit higher in pitch or lower in pitch. You can add an echo. You can fade the beginning in. You can fade the ending out. Again, tons of stuff that you can do with this. Another thing is, if you want all this here to be quiet, this is another item that I use a great deal. I just select the area that I want to get rid of all the sound right up here. Select that for silence. Boom. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on an introduction to the free audio editor and recorder called Audacity. Now there are a whole lot of uses for the free software called Handbrake, but this video will show you how to use Handbrake to optimize or compress your video for streaming on the web. So the first thing you want to do is head on over to handbrake.fr and download the most recent copy of the software. Now, rather than just relying on Handbrake to make sure it's providing you with the most recent copy for your system, I would go ahead and click on other platforms or this downloads link here. Either one of these, they'll take you to the same page. That way you can make sure that, for example, if you're on a Windows operating system, that you're downloading the proper one for your particular system, be it 32-bit or 64-bit. Likewise, you can also get the one for the Mac or for any of the other systems here. Now, before we leave this page, I also want to point out that over here under the support link, there's a couple of places that I would like for you to open up in your browser and bookmark for future reference. I'm only going to be touching on one particular aspect of this software, and there are so many more. So open up the user guides and FAQ page, as well as the community forums page, and go ahead and bookmark those, so whenever you get the time, come on back here and check out the many other options available to you in using Handbrake to help you with all your video needs. So now then, you've got it downloaded, you've got it installed, and all that's pretty straightforward stuff, by the way. Now go ahead and open up your Handbrake software. And let's get this guy up here in the video. And you've also got these presets over here, and you can even create your own custom presets as well. So the first thing we want to do is bring in our source, or the video file that I want to compress. And we do that, oh wait, before we do that, I want to come up here to Tools, go to Options, and I want to make sure that, now most of this stuff here is by default just fine, but I want to make sure that this guy is checking for updates just in case. And on the output files, I want to make sure that this is set to automatic. Even if of these two outputs we only want MP4, I would leave it at automatic. And under advanced, I think everything here is just fine. I unticked this box here so that it does not minimize to the system tray, but by default that box is ticked. And then come on down here and click on Close. Now let's go ahead and go to our source file. Let's click on Source, navigate to the location of the video file on your computer that you want to compress, and this is the guy right here. And as I hover over it, you can see it is 12 minutes in length, almost 13 minutes, and it's 475 megabytes in file size. Go ahead and select that, click on open. Now then that we've got the source in here, we want to select the destination. So go ahead and click on browse. In other words, where do you want your compressed or optimized video to be? Click on browse, give it a name. I want this to be an MP4, and instead of it being the same name, I'm going to go ahead and add the number 2 at the end of it just so I can tell the difference between the two. Of course, the file size is going to be a big difference. Go ahead and click on save, and we're good there. We're good here. Want to click on the box for web optimized, and under picture, the only reason you would want to change this is if you would want to change the dimensions or the size of your outputted video. For example, right now, this is way too big if you wanted to put it on like a blog post, which would be closer to a 640 by 360 size. So if that were the case, then you would change this accordingly. And of course, that would also reduce the output size as well, or the file size. I'm going to go ahead and leave this alone. Filters, I'm going to leave alone. Video, I'm going to tick this box here. I'm going to leave this at constant quality. The number 20 is just fine. And you want to make sure that these are set for H.264 and same as source. I'm going to go with constant frame rate instead of the default variable frame rate. Audio, I want to change that from 160 to 128. And advanced, I'm going to go ahead and change the default reference frames to 4, and that's it. It's really that simple. Come on up here, click on Start, and depending upon the speed of your computer, you know what's under the hood, would depend on how long this is going to take. But through the magic of video editing, this is not going to take very long at all. And now we're just about done here. We're going to compare the original video file with our optimized video file, and almost there. Okay, I think we're done. Yep, let's go ahead and pull this in here to show you the end result. This is the original right here at 487 megabytes. This is the optimized one right here at 43 megabytes. A heck of a difference. And that's how you can use the free video transcoding software called Handbrake to optimize your videos for streaming on the web. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. FreeMake Video Converter is much more than just a free video converter. This video will walk you through just some of what FreeMake can do and point you in the right direction for you to be able to squeeze even more awesomeness out of your FreeMake software. So first off, let's head on over to freemake.com and head over to the FreeMake Video Converter page. Now you can download directly from this page, but I want to point out over here on this page that it does show you a few of the things that FreeMake Video Converter can do for you. Now, as far as learning more about the total awesomeness of FreeMake Video Converter, you can come on up here to the How-To section, click on that link, and I would suggest bookmarking this page because there's a ton of stuff on here that you can learn more about the FreeMake Video Converter than what I'm going to be able to provide you in this video. So let's go ahead and check out the downloads. The video converter is one that I want. I'm going to click on this link here. Now I've already downloaded it to my computer. That's why this has the number 1 in parentheses. But I want to go through the entire process with you, so just go ahead and click on Save. And the download is complete here. Now I'm using the Chrome browser, so if you're using a different browser, then it may not look exactly like this. But to get this guy to load up, just go ahead and single click on it. This pops up, click on Run. And the screen's going to go dark, and maybe some of this stuff is going to show up on the video, maybe it won't, but it's pretty straightforward stuff. Choose the language, and I believe I can get rid of this now. And then eventually this guy is going to show up. Frankly, I don't want to have anything more on my computer than just what I'm actually installing right now, and that is the FreeMake Video Converter. So I'm going to uncheck this box here, click on Next, and if you go through the standard installation, FreeMake will go ahead and automatically install the AVG toolbar, which is a pretty good antivirus software, but I've already got the antivirus software, so I don't need this. So I'm going to go with the custom installation and untick both of these boxes. Click on Next, and I don't need my PC any faster than what it is. It's pretty fast already. I'm going to untick that box, click on Next. And just to make sure that I'm not adding anything extra, I'm going to go with the custom installation and install the browser plugin. That's fine. And create the desktop icon. That also is fine. Because if I find that I don't want the browser plugin, I can always go into the settings of my browser, be it Chrome or Firefox, and either disable or delete it altogether. So that's fine. Click on Next. That's fine. Click on Next. And now the installation process. And by the way, at the time of this recording, this version of FreeMake Video Converter is 4.0.4.4. And after this gets down to 0, then it's going to go through some more of the installation process. So depending upon the speed of your computer, it depends on how long the entire installation process will take, but no more than just a couple of minutes tops. And at this point, I just want to make sure that box is ticked because I do want to launch the video converter right now. Click on Finish. And then the browser pops up wanting you to send them some money. And then this is the actual software interface itself. These are all ways in which you can bring your content into the FreeMake Video Converter to do the converting. So whatever product or content you have up here, you would choose down here the item that you want to convert it to. The first item I want to show you is creating a photo slideshow, which might come in handy if you've got a bunch of images of a birthday party or a wedding reception, or maybe a bunch of images of a product that you're about to launch and you want to put them all together as a slideshow video to maybe add to the back end of another video. Whatever your imagination can think of, you can do it if you've got enough images and even a background audio track. So come up here and select Photo and navigate to the location of the images you want in your slideshow. Now I'm just going to select all these guys here. Click on Open, brings them all in here and creates our slideshow. Now if you want to edit this a little bit, I'll show you that here in just a second, but right now I want to add a background audio because by default there isn't any. Click on that. So by default you only have these two options here, the no audio and add audio. Add audio, just select that, navigate to the location on your computer where you've got your MP3 or your WAV file or whatever audio file you want, and then select it, just like I've done here. Now then you can come on over here to preview, and while in the preview, you can play, you can stop, you can fast forward, fast rewind, and so on. But right here is where you can edit the slideshow in the event you want to shift the images around or even add additional images. And go and close this out here. Right here is where you can adjust the interval between those images. By default it's at 5 seconds. I'm going to move this up for the sake of speeding up the video to 2 seconds, but you can move it up to as much as 20 seconds or down to as low as 1 second each. Now let's go ahead and preview this. There you go. I think you get the idea. And hopefully some marketing ideas will come to mind as well. So let those creative juices start flowing. Go and click on OK. Now I want to convert this photo slideshow into a video. So with it selected, come on down here, choose the output that you want. And in this case, I want an AVI. And right here, you've got these presets. And you can use the presets that are available here, or you can add your own preset. And actually, you can do that either by clicking on that link or right here. Or you can even edit the existing preset that you've already selected or delete it altogether. But I'm going to leave the same as source alone and go ahead and add another preset. Give it a name. And you might want to be a little more descriptive than that, but you get the idea. Change whatever options down here you want to change. Maybe I don't want this stereo, I just want mono because I want the audio file to be half the size. And I don't need as much as 320K. 128 is fine, and maybe I want to bump this down to 44 instead of the 48. Everything else looks good. Wait, frame rate, I think I can get around with 15. I'm not sacrificing much quality with the images. Now if this were a video of people moving around, then yeah, I might want to keep that as high as possible. Click on OK, and there is my new preset. Now if I don't like this, click on the X to delete it. Now you want to select the location of where you want to save your video. And you can just select this guy here, navigate to that location, give it a name, click on Save, and click on Convert. And depending upon how fast your computer is and how big that photo slideshow is, will depend on how long this is going to take. And that didn't take long at all. Click on Close, and we're good. Now we can get on out of here. The next item I want to show you is how to burn items to a DVD. For example, if say you've got a bunch of videos that you want to sell as a physical product, very easy. You can bring them into your work area, burn them to a DVD, even add a custom menu. Let's go ahead and do that now. Come up here to Video, select the videos you want to add to your workplace, and add them here. You You've got some editing options over here to the right. And at this point, I want to select DVD. Give it a title. Make sure that this is set to the right location. By default, it usually is, unless you've got a couple of different DVD players. And here's where you can decide on the custom menu. Let's click on that. And FreeMake Video Converter does have what's called a gold pack that for a donation of, I don't know, anywhere between 99 cents to however much you want, you can have these additional options for custom menus and other items too that the gold pack offers. But here you can go with this that I've already chosen. And this gives you a thumbnail view of the different videos that you have in here, or of whatever content you have in here. I just so happen to have videos in here. And this is the title. And you can even opt to change the background. Or if you just want a text menu, pretty simple, or no menu at all. And then click on Burn. How simple is that? Now another idea behind this is that you can put content in here so that you can save it off of your computer. That way, in case sometime down the line your computer hard drive fries, well, you've got all of your important content saved on this DVD. Go ahead and get on out of here. Oh, and by the way, if you want to get that gold pack, come on up here to help, select gold pack, and that'll open up where you can make that purchase. And come over here to edit and remove all. And that's just a few items out of the many that you can use your FreeMake Video Converter to do. That's going to bring us to the end of this video on the introduction to the FreeMake Video Converter. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. VLC is an open source and free media player that works on Windows, Macs, and Linux machines. Now VLC is much more than just a media player though. You see, with VLC you can create custom playlists of your own audio and video tracks. You can use VLC to subscribe to and stream podcasts. You can use VLC to listen to internet radio stations from around the world, and so much more. Now this video is going to walk you through just some of the many features of the VLC media player. Now the first thing you need to do is to head on over to videolan.org/VLC to download the software. Right here at the very top you've got this big orange button that says download VLC. That's what you want to press on. That'll download the installation file. And right now at the time of this recording, the most recent version, or at least the version I'm going to be showing in this video, is version 2.1.0. Now once you have this file downloaded to your computer, you want to be sure and install it by right-clicking on the file and install as administrator. And by the way, you want to close down all of your open applications before you click on the installation button as an administrator. Okay, now you've got VLC downloaded and installed, and let's go ahead and open up our program. This is the main interface here, and for me personally, I have the advanced control bar and the status bar installed. Let me show you up here under View what I did. By default, these two tick marks are not there, and this is what it looks like by default. Just like that. Pretty plain Jane. You got your play button, your skip to the front, skip to the rear, and the stop playback. Now these guys here will skip to the beginning of the media that's playing, be it audio or video. But if you have a playlist working, then this will skip to the very beginning of the playlist, and this will skip to the very end of the playlist. Now your playlist can consist of pretty much anything. Audio and video, just video, or a combination of audio, video, podcasts, and even bits and pieces of your internet radio stations that you come across. Let me also go ahead and show you that this is how you toggle back and forth to the playlist. Let me go ahead and bring this guy out here. This is your playlist area here. And these are the ways in which you can add content to your playlist area. Through directories on your computer, disks you might have in your disk drive, be it a CD or a DVD, local networks, and from the internet. And I'll get to these guys here in just a second. But first, let's go ahead and add a media file from our computer. And let's go ahead and add this MP4. And it starts playing. As you can see, I was playing around with this already by flipping it upside down. Let's go ahead and flip that guy right side up. I'm going to go ahead and select this. Now I'm already in the playlist area here. So we select this, come up here to Tools, go to Effects and Filters, go to Video Effects, go to Geometry, and you see I've got the transform selected, rotate by 180. Go ahead and untick that, click on Close, and then go ahead and select it, right click and play. You see we're right back here on the right side. Now come on back up here to Tools, go back into Effects and Filters, go to Video Effects, Overlay. I've already got a logo here that's not really a great logo, but just for demonstration purposes, if we click on Play and then click on Pause, You can see right here is that logo, or at least it's what I'm using in this example as a logo. And you can adjust the transparency of it to where it's not transparent at all, or to where you can barely see it. And right in here is the ideal area for me anyway for a logo. And frankly, I would have it in the lower right hand corner, and you can adjust the location of your logo image right here. And if you wanted to add text, you can check this box here. Let's go and get rid of this guy here. And you can see I've already got this in the bottom right corner. And as you type, it shows it up right there. You can change the location, pretty darn simple. And this works great if you're trying to brand your videos before you put them on the internet. Now let's come on back to our playlist area here. And I want to show you about subscribing to a podcast. Now first off, you have to find the podcast. Once you do, you come on back here to the playlist, hit the plus, enter the URL of that podcast, and then click on OK. For example, and you can do this with just about any site that has a podcast, or you can go to iTunes and get whatever podcast you normally listen to from having to go to iTunes. You just select that, brings you to their feed burner page. I'm just going to select this entire feed URL, copy that into my clipboard, come on back here, paste that in there, click on OK, and here it is. I select that. And if you don't like that anymore, then you just get rid of it. Now this is showing all of the podcasts under that subscription. But let's say after listening to these that there's a few of these that I want to hang on to. So I'm going to select this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one because I've already listened to them and I really like them and I want to hang on to them for future reference. At this point, I just select those, right click on one of them, add to playlist, left click on that. Come on back up here to our playlist. And you can see they've been added here along with that original video. So I can customize my playlist to whatever I want. Like I said, whether it's a video off of my computer, an audio file off of my computer, or even podcast from someone else's website. Now check this out. I'm going to leave these here intact, but I also want to show you about the free internet radio stations. And that's right here under IceCast Radio Directory. Select that. And this is amazing. Check out all these guys. But let's say I really like Alaska Hit Radio, and I'm going to select that, right click, add to playlist. You kind of see where I'm going with this, right? Talk about a custom selection, and here it is. So now I want to save this as a particular playlist. Let's just say that each one of these items here are related to my marketing business. So we come up here to Media, Save Playlist to File, navigate to the location on your computer where you want to save this to, give it a name. Click on Save. Now let's go ahead and clear these guys out of here. And by the way, you can, in fact, like this says here, just drag and drop files from your computer into this area here, just the same as you would by coming up here to Media and opening File. As a matter of fact, let me demonstrate that now. This is my awesome playlist that I just created. I'm going to left click, hold, and drag that on into here. And to expand our playlist file, I'm just going to go ahead and double click. And then go to Playlist. And I'll go ahead and pause that. And this exposes all of the files that are in that particular playlist file. Now at this point, if I find that maybe this particular item in our playlist is best suited to be at the very beginning of our playlist, select it and just drag it on up to the very top, and there you go. And if you want to get rid of one of these items because you find that maybe it's just not suitable for this particular playlist, you want to add it to a different playlist, then you just select it and remove selected, or just simply select it and hit the delete key on your keyboard. And again, these are just a few of the many features that you have access to with the VLC Media Player. And this is going to bring us to the end of the VLC Media Player video. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day.